You know, what if the hardest thing you ever had to do was simply tell the truth? Today we're going to dive into a moment in history where one man's honesty cost him everything, and another man's fear almost did the exact same thing.
So our key verse today comes from the Gospel of Mark. I want you to just picture it, a courtroom, absolutely packed with tension. Accusations are flying everywhere. And right there, at the center of it all, is one man. This verse, this is Jesus' direct, no-fluff answer when he's literally on trial for his life. It's this incredible moment of clarity in the middle of all the chaos. And honestly, it sets the stage for everything we're about to unpack.
And that really brings us to the core question for today, right? A question that, let's be honest, applies to every single one of us. When the pressure is on, when fear is kind of whispering in your ear and your deepest beliefs are put to the test, how do you respond?
What's so fascinating about this passage in Mark is that it doesn't just give us one example. The Bible does this brilliant thing where it puts two stories, two totally different reactions to intense pressure right next to each other. It's like it's inviting us to compare and contrast.
So on one side, you've got Jesus. He stands firm in the truth no matter what it's going to cost him. And on the other side, his own disciple Peter, who just gives in to fear. You have two men, one massive crisis, and two completely different outcomes. This contrast is really the heart of what we're looking at.
All right, so let's dig into Jesus' response first. We're calling this a costly stand. And wow, is it a powerful lesson in what conviction really looks like?
Try to put yourself in that room. It's hostile. False witnesses are twisting the truth, and then the high priest asks a question that is basically a trap. Are you the Messiah? I mean, Jesus could have dodged it, right? He could have stayed silent. But he doesn't. He gives the most direct, unambiguous answer you can imagine. I am. He absolutely knew that saying those two words would seal his fate and lead to unimaginable suffering. And yet, he chose truth.
So what's the takeaway for us here? Well, first, it shows that true faithfulness to God often means picking truth over our own comfort. It's a huge reminder that obedience is way more important than avoiding a tough situation. And maybe most importantly, Jesus wasn't just being stubborn. He stood firm for a divine purpose, a purpose that was about to change everything.
Now let's flip the coin. The scene shifts away from Jesus' trial and over to one of his closest friends, Peter. And his story, well, it's one of a fearful denial.
And here's the tragic irony. Just hours before this, Peter was so sure of himself. He had boldly told Jesus, even if everyone else leaves you, I never will. I mean, his intentions were good, his heart was in the right place, but his confidence was all in his own strength, not in God's.
And when the test came, that self-confidence just crumbled. Not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 denials that would absolutely haunt him.
You know, it wasn't even a soldier with a sword that made him crack. It was a servant girl asking a simple question. And in that moment, fear completely took over. All those good intentions just vanished, replaced by this desperate need to save his own skin. He denied he even knew Jesus. It's just such a stark reminder of how fast our own strength can fail us when we aren't depending on God.
Peter's failure is such a powerful lesson for us. It shows just how fast fear can push us to compromise. It reveals how incredibly vulnerable we are when we're just relying on ourselves. But, and this is so important, his story doesn't end in despair. It is a story of hope. Because Peter wept, he repented, and his journey becomes this incredible story of restoration. It proves that failure is never, ever the final word. Okay, so we've got these two powerful, contrasting examples. One of unwavering conviction, the other of just human weakness. So what do we do with that? How do we actually take these stories from the Bible and apply them to our own lives? Let's talk about living these lessons.
So if we want to be more like Jesus, here's a simple game plan. First, just identify those moments when you're tempted to keep quiet about your faith. Second, make a conscious choice to speak the truth even when it feels super uncomfortable. Third, and this is the hard part, let go and trust God with whatever happens next. And finally, always, always remember the example Jesus gave us. It's not easy, but it is possible. And from Peter's story, we can learn how to guard ourselves against that kind of fear. First, be honest with yourself. Where is fear causing you to compromise? We all have those areas. Second, stay connected to God. I'm talking prayer and digging into the Bible. Third, and this is the big one, stop relying on your own strength. And fourth, know that when you fail, because we all do,
The way back to God is always open through repentance.
All right, as we bring this all to a close, let's boil it all down to one final powerful thought.
This is it. This is the big idea from Mark 1:4. It's not just a story about something that happened a long time ago. It's a call to courage, a call to conviction, and a call to be faithful right here, right now, in our own lives. Stand firm in the truth, no matter what it cost you. And that leaves us with one last question to take with us. When you look at Jesus and you look at Peter, a really important question comes up for our own lives, and it's this. How can you, in your life right now, rely more on God's strength instead of your own? Because the answer to that question, it could change everything.